Noah was never the dramatic type. He didn't yell, didn't storm out of rooms, didn't believe in loud declarations. His love was steady, quiet even, like the comfort of warm coffee on a cold, rainy morning. Back then, I mistook that quiet for dullness. I thought I needed something more exciting, more affirming. I thought his calm made our love ordinary. What I didn't realize was how rare that kind of love truly is, and how easily I shattered it with one selfish choice. It didn't start with betrayal. It started with distance. Life got busy. Noah had his work trips, endless meetings, and late-night emails. I was juggling clients, deadlines, the kind of stress that eats away at you without warning. Slowly, the closeness faded. We stopped laughing at the same jokes. We stopped touching without thinking. We still shared a house, a bed, a name, but emotionally, we felt more like polite roommates navigating separate lives. Then came Jason, a co-worker, charismatic, charming, the kind of man who always noticed. When I changed my hair, wore a new dress, or had a tough day, he made me feel seen again. Not because he was special, but because I didn't know how to fill the emptiness inside me. I confused attention with affection. I mistook flattery for meaning. And one night, when Noah was away and the loneliness had settled too deep in my chest, I made a decision that would break everything. It happened once. Just once. I told myself that made it forgivable. I told myself I was just lonely. I even convinced myself that I could pretend it never happened. But the morning after, lying next to Jason in the silence of my own regret, I knew I'd crossed a line that couldn't be erased. My guilt was instant and unbearable. I promised myself it would never happen again. I tried to be better, but I didn't confess. I thought if I buried it deep enough, it might disappear. But secrets don't stay buried. Not forever. One rainy Friday evening, Noah came home earlier than planned. I didn't hear the front door open. I didn't hear his footsteps. I was still in the bedroom with Jason. The door wasn't even fully closed. And then suddenly there he was, in the hallway, still silent, just watching. He didn't shout. He didn't ask why. He didn't even flinch. He just stood there, like something inside him had frozen solid. That moment, the look in his eyes, will haunt me forever. It wasn't anger I saw. It wasn't even pain. It was stillness, as if something vital had just died inside him. I scrambled to pull on a robe, rushing after him. Speaking nonsense I don't even remember. Jason was behind me, clumsily gathering his clothes, as out of place as I felt in my own home. I reached out to Noah, but he stepped back. When he finally spoke, his voice was almost gentle. "Hello. Thank you for confirming everything I've been feeling these past few months." Then he turned around and walked out. No door slammed. No yelling. Just the soft sound of his footsteps fading and the sharp weight of silence settling behind him. I ran after him into the rain, barefoot, pleading, but he was already gone. That night, I sat alone, drenched and shivering on the front step, realizing I hadn't just made a mistake. I had detonated something sacred, and there was no undoing it. He didn't return my calls. Not that night. Not the next. Not ever. I called his friends, his sister, even his boss. No one would tell me where he was. It was as if he had vanished from my life completely. A week later, there was a knock at the door. A courier handed me an envelope. Inside were separation papers and a handwritten letter. Noah's handwriting. I knew it instantly. You don't get to cry about losing what you chose to throw away. I loved you with everything I had. I hope one day, when the noise fades, you remember what quiet love felt like, and I hope it haunts you. I collapsed on the floor with that letter clutched to my chest. That was the moment I broke. Not when he caught me, not when he walked away, but when I realized he would never let me explain, never let me apologize, never give me the chance to fix what I'd ruined. I hadn't just betrayed him. I had murdered his trust, and with it, any version of us that could have survived. I've never seen him again. I've heard whispers. He moved to another city, started a new job, started fresh. Sometimes I scroll through his social media. He looks thinner, quieter, but there's a peace in his eyes now that wasn't there toward the end with me. A calmness I once had the privilege of knowing up close. and destroyed. I've tried everything since. Therapy, letters, emails, voicemails I'm sure he's never listened to. Nothing changes the truth. He didn't scream. He didn't try to make me feel small. He just left, with dignity. And somehow, that grace hurt more than any rage could have. People think punishment comes in the form of fury or revenge. But the real punishment is silence. The kind that leaves you alone with your guilt, with the echo of what you've done, and no one left to forgive you. That's what I live with now. Every morning, I pour coffee into the mug that used to be his. Every night, I lie on the side of bed he once warmed. And every time I look at the front door, I remember how he walked through it. Once as my husband, and once as a man who would never return.